fuck up me flagging a video from 2 years ago. So now people can't fuck with me. So I'm going to be, I'll be using my other channel, but doing it from here. I know who did it. I don't flag channels. I just, I personally will just, if there's a stupid video, I'll just ask for the video to be taken down. I don't flag nobody's channel. Anytime I something I put up 2 years ago. That's crazy.
A lot of time invested to go back that long and flag shit.
Hear you. You guys there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, because it seemed like you guys were talking. I couldn't hear you guys.
No, I'm eating popcorn, so I keep muting myself and trying to kill it before we start.
Okay, that's what it was. Oh, okay. All right. You were munching. That's what it was. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna get started, guys. Okay. Let's get this ball rolling here. We got people waiting here. The Irish Podcast episode X. Now, before I get into the show, the Irish Podcast, just to let you know, will be hosted on this channel, people, for the time being, or for the next few weeks to come. I'll still be doing content, for my main channel, like video commentary, reviews, videos with me in them, and I'll get into that more later. But first, we're going to have the panel introduce themselves. We'll start out with Rambo. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Y'all know me, Rambo's Corner. I'm gonna, start focusing on game reviews and stuff. I've actually started launching a few things over on VidMe. If you want to go over there and check it out there as well, it's Rambo's Corner over on VidMe as well. So,
okay, right. Yeah, I was looking at that too since you guys mentioned that. So, okay, then next up we got Mr. Corleone.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Corleone 4. Be sure to check me out on...
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Corleone. Thank everybody for coming through. Check me out on YouTube and follow me on Twitter.
Next up, we got 7th Level.
Hey, guys. 7th here. Back for another show. I too have gotten back into the review game after not having posted any lately, and nobody watched the shit.
I watched it.
200 views. I expect better. Thank you.
You got to talk to your fans about that one. Last but not least, we got Frozen.
Frozen Magma, thanks for having me. Currently uploading a video. We'll be up tomorrow.
Damn.
Cool. That was quick. Frozen's always to the point. Frozen is always straight to the point. Okay, now, the first thing that I really want to talk about is YouTube. I read quite a few things about the new YouTube, okay? And it's really not the new YouTube that has been going on for a while. It's getting worse. Now, I read that YouTube can and will be able to moderate your content even if it doesn't violate the community guidelines. They also able to place your videos content again, even if you're obeying the rules. And to me, this is stupid. Okay. Even now and then, every now and then YouTube comes up with these stupid rules that just make no sense. They really don't. Okay, now I understand why people are talking about VidMe. And they're really trying to censor the way we talk on YouTube. Literally anything can be considered, okay? That's what they're saying. Okay? So with that said, what do you guys think of the new YouTube policies that are coming out, if you know about it? I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, they can hit you up if somebody talks about something that's been up for 2 years, which is what happened to me because somebody got ass hurt. Video's been up for 2 years, and now they're saying it's in violation. So what do you guys think about it?
It's messed up. Shouldn't be able to do that.
Well,
yeah, but that's what But that's what they're doing. They're also changing, saying that they could censor, do whatever they, even if you're abiding by the guidelines, they can actually still give you a strike or take your stuff down.
I think, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, when you look at, they don't have a rivalry. They don't have competition. So they run it. They are the originators of us being able to make the content that we make. So now they got everybody, and now they're implementing all these new laws because they know that there isn't a rivalry that, you can't stop. A lot of people, their livelihood is on YouTube. So when your livelihood is on YouTube, you gotta either follow suit or somebody needs to make something else to rival YouTube. And then once that rivalry comes up, then you can have where we can have a say. Until then, we don't have a say. You know what I'm saying? And they control it.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it.
Well,
Okay.
they're I mean, it's really certain types of. It's very directed content that they are looking for. Any content that is quote unquote wrong think, meaning that if you don't have the liberal ideology, then you will be censored. Because somebody can flag obviously when somebody calls a feminist or whatever, like dumb or whatever, they call it hate speech or whatever. So whenever they make videos about this, they can turn that into hate speech. It's really just driven by that liberal ideology. I think eventually they're looking probably to get rid of YouTube the way we know it and go make more of their money from guaranteed funds like YouTube TV, where they're going to start streaming streaming TV content. I'm starting to like I said, upload to VidMe because I mean, when you first start out, it's very kind of, you don't really have as I guess as many options as what you have with from YouTube from the jump. But as long as you they really will work with you as long as you stay focused in promoting other content in VidMe and watching videos in VidMe, kind of supporting the community. Then you can get verified, and that's whenever you can actually get ads on your videos, and you can get subscribe, a subscriber button that actually, I think that people can, when they subscribe, they can donate anywhere from $2 to however much they want to you. There's a lot of cool things that VidMe's doing, and I think they're just working their way up. They started from the ground up, and I look at it kind of like what's going to happen with MySpace to Facebook. Eventually, things are the way, if YouTube's going the way they're going, the more and more people are going to jump over to VidMe, and all it's going to take is just one of these bigger creators to jump over there, and VidMe will be back to VidMe will be to where it needs to be, because these other YouTube is just basically making it where almost impossible unless you have proper content, what they deem proper, to even be any sort of profitable if that's what you're in it for.
Yeah. See, now my thing was, you know what's funny? Remember, the thing that was up for over 2 years was like a self-defense thing. It had nothing to do with anything else. It was a fight thing that was self-defense.
Well, yeah, somebody probably came in and flagged that. If they flagged that,
they did.
Yeah, if they flagged that, then.
Well, I know who it was because I did a video about them and their ass hurt. Yeah, I know who did it.
Yeah, if somebody flagged your video and they went back and they did it, now basically it falls under the new guidelines. So if you were cussing in it and stuff like that, then chances are that could be a good reason why it's taken down.
Well, see, I was.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying harass.
Maybe somebody else. Yeah.
Their harassment and bullying rules are just kind of like a big broad statement. They're not really defined on what is harassment and what is bullying. So you could actually be responding and defending yourself, but yet in their eyes, since they didn't see the original video, it looks like you're the one being the bully and the harasser. So they just automatically do that, which is kind of, to me, it's just wrong.
Yeah, just tell me. I mean, if that's the case, and you have new rules about this, you asked me, and I put in a thing for it, saying no, it was up there. It was about self-defense, whatever. If somebody went back 2 years to flag, and they did say it was flagged. Somebody did flag it. then just tell me that, you're taking it down anyway. Just tell me to take it down and say, okay, if you have any other content that's related to this, we have new rules, just take them down or put them on censorship or whatever, or whatever the case is going to be. Tell somebody. I mean, I forgot that damn thing was even up.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of, you got to be careful with the content you make now. And even the content that you still have on your channel, you just got to be careful, because if somebody goes back and flags it, the way their rules are now, they're really super strict.
Well, that's why I'm going to go back to all my videos and look at them. I'm going to go back and see, and if even if I don't think it needs to be, I just may put censorship on quite a few things, unless it's just an actual game, because I'm not going to go through anytime somebody gets mad, they want to flag my shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then YouTube say, and then YouTube get mad at, and come at me. So that's why I even said I want to get partnered, because then a lot of this shit can't happen. Because they can't go, they're not going to be able to go after me like they're doing now, because somebody just said, because they got ass hurt and want to, have them and their minions fucking flag me because their ass hurt, just to take my shit down. You ain't going to get me off of YouTube, so keep on trying. Seventh, you got anything to say about this YouTube shit?
Well, I do have an additional possible piece of information in regards to all this. It would seem that someone earlier, like either yesterday or today, claiming to be a anonymous employee of Google, posted in a 4chan thread that all of these changes and everything that were coming about with Google and YouTube were coming about all of a sudden because of who Google/YouTube had hired in to be kind of their czar of social acceptability and whatnot. And they're just not publicly announcing it because they already know what kind of negative backlash would happen if it went public. And that person was Anita Sarkeesian.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
If that's who's doing it, then we might as well just jump to VidMe and run the hell away, because.
Wow.
Yeah. But I opened up a VidMe a while back, and people that had like a decent sized channel and had already kind of established themselves, they were like, sure, come on over. Come on in, we'll treat you good. And I don't know, it's kind of like being on the ground floor of things all over again. But especially now that they've got this new advertising program that they just announced, it's looking a little bit more attractive every time I go over there and visit. I mean, all I've been doing with it now really has just been uploading, copying my old videos over to it. But, if things go too far south, I may just drop YouTube altogether and head over there to greener pastures.
I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm actually thinking of, even with YouTube starting this shit, I may have one on both, because you can always upload, even if you do something on YouTube, you can put it over there. So, I'm honestly thinking about it, because if YouTube's going to do all this nonsense, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to deal with it. Like you said, you may be working from the ground up, but if the people know where you're going, they know where you're going, and they'll follow you.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. I mean, I didn't do anything over there, but I started one. It's Titanfall Princess over there, but I really didn't do much, whatever. But I'm thinking of moving a lot of stuff over there, and working both sides and see where I'm going to get the best benefits. And the less shit, to be honest with you. Or should I say poop?
Well, over there, I know with VidMe, they're not strict at all with the type of content. In fact, there's actually even a thing where you could actually upload not safe for work content. You just got to label it as not safe for work.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
you label your videos right, yeah, I could see them not having a problem, but don't, don't put something up there and it's not really what it is.
yeah, but I mean, YouTube doesn't allow it at all. But I mean, like over there, I found like some guy that he was like reviewing some sort of, like, he wasn't reviewing, but he was basically talking about some sort of sex doll, and like the doll, I mean, was basically like full on, just looked like a natural woman, and so whenever you're watching the video, it looks like you're watching a woman, I guess, with her movements while she's like having sex or whatever. But the video was labeled not safe for work, like with that thumbnail, and you clicked on it because it was weird. I'd never seen something like that before, so I clicked on it, and then it was that, and I was like, oh, well, that's actually kind of weird that these things, this site actually allows you, but that just shows the freedom that you have over there in comparison to YouTube. And that might change, as they grow, but at least right now there's a lot more freedom
because they're newer.
Yeah,
that's why they got to learn the ropes.
And VidMe, and one thing is that VidMe, though, if you actually have a problem and you tweet at VidMe, they'll actually respond to you.
That is true.
Well, YouTube does, but it takes them forever.
Yeah, but they
How
don't.
long does it take?
Sometimes never. I've tweeted at YouTube and never got a response. But I tweeted at VidMe and get a response.
I tweeted VidMe like regularly, and I usually get a response within the hour.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Within an hour. Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty quick with their responses. They really like the fact that if you go over there and if you're uploading content and you're actually on the site and watching videos and sharing them and stuff, anybody in that, I found like a larger content creator actually come over to one of my videos and share it out himself. Like it was like one of the people like with 3,000 or 4,000 subs over there. Right. With that, which I didn't even know the guy. I've never even heard of him, or whatever. But he came over there and shared out my video. But that was kind of like they take care of their own over there. It seems like you actually have people that care about the platform. They want the platform to succeed.
Well, see, that's good though. That's nice. That's nice to hear. Somebody that's one of the bigger ones over there will come to somebody that's small and share your video to other people. So VidMe grows. I mean, that's nice. I mean, you don't get that on YouTube.
Nope.
You don't get that on YouTube. So that's actually nice. That's actually very nice. I like to hear that. Okay. Anybody else got anything any more they want to talk about with this YouTube or VidMe? Any other good things you want to talk about VidMe or anything?
No, I'm good.
Somebody in the chat wants to know what are your thoughts on Sony acquiring Funimation? Wants to know what the panel thinks.
That's an amazing accomplishment for them to be able to pull off, since they're so strapped for cash and going bankrupt.
How are they buying
shut
things
down any day?
Yeah, I just never ceases to amaze me, like the idiocy about people whenever they say that stuff, and then you hear Sony's buying a company. It blows my mind.
I mean, they may not have money for certain things, but when it comes to the games or certain things, they have that money. They don't, but they also don't want everybody to know what they got. They ain't stupid. Why let people know what you got? So they can hint, people can think about what you're going to do and what you're not going to do and where you're going to put your money. It's their money. Let them put them where they want to put it.
Yep.
They don't want to tell you. They don't have to tell you. I mean, that's like me asking all y'all, okay, how much money you have in the bank and how much do you make, a week or a month or a year? That's none of nobody's damn business.
Well, they have to have some level of disclosure because of the fact that they're a publicly traded company and the stockholders have to be able to know that stuff. But
But I'm saying overall, though.
Right.
Overall. Okay. Well, since nobody has nothing else to add, we're going to go on to the next subject. Okay. Now, we are a few days away from Hellblade coming out. I already have the dynamic theme on my PlayStation 4. And I'm really hyped for the game. Love the fact that I get to be a Celtic warrior in a game. And I love the release date of this game because it's not too close to anything else releasing. And it's far off from Uncharted Lost Legacy's release date. Okay, so I'll be streaming Hellblade. Okay, play through it and enjoy it. Now I talked about Hellblade releasing at a good time, but which brings me to Knack 2. Okay, this topic is like two things here. It brings me to Knack 2. Knack 2 will be released at the same time as Destiny 2, which is probably the worst thing that Sony can do. Honestly, I really think Knack 2 has a chance at changing the gaming community's mind about the series. Personally, I'm a Knack fan. I just don't understand why it's being released against a giant like Destiny 2. To me, it makes no sense. What are your guys' thoughts on Hellblade and Knack 2 releasing at the same time as Destiny 2? Who wants to go first?
I'm definitely looking forward to Hellblade. I already I'm like you, already have it pre-ordered and have the the thing on my PS4. As far as Knack 2, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I already have it pre-ordered, and they actually picked that date prior to, from what I understand, prior to Destiny 2, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that it was kind of like they had it picked, and then all of a sudden, oh shit, here comes Destiny 2 right next to it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. See, I didn't know that. I thought.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they could. I mean, if they could move it, that would be better for them, I think. But I mean, really, I don't know if they're looking at Knack. I don't know if Knack really requires such a huge reception in order for it to be profitable. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it wasn't really. It doesn't cost as much to make as like some of the other games. So maybe they're not as worried about it being like, say, selling millions of copies in comparison to like an Uncharted 4 or something like that. So maybe they just don't have that same type of worry about it.
I would think they would, because wouldn't you want another series to do well on your console?
Well, yeah, but I mean, what to them? I mean, like I think what the first Knack sold like 1.7 million, but I mean to them, maybe 1 million is a great seller for a game like Knack, because I mean we don't know exactly what makes at what number the game becomes profitable. We can pretty much assume that like a game like Uncharted, you would need probably a little bit more than 1 million sales, but a game like Knack, 1 million sales might make it be a profitable sell, and I still say it can still push 1 million next to Destiny 2. Because they're two different genres. Now, if they were the exact same genre, I would say that they would definitely cause some problems. But they're two completely different genres, so I think that people will be looking at them differently whenever those two things come out, rather than having to choose between the two.
I hope so. I really do hope so, because I mean, I want Knack to succeed. I am a Knack fan.
Me too.
So that was my only thought, because I think other people, if they really played the game and it wasn't released at bad times, maybe you'd get more people into it.
Yeah.
And go further with it. That was my point.
It'd be nice to see, definitely, because it's a great platformer.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they released the first Knack for free during
that month.
Yeah.
I bet you that will be the.
That'll be a smart idea for them to do, because that'll allow people to play it and then get their hands on. Because I never played it, I never was really interested in it, but I always give a game a try. You know what I'm saying? If
it's fun,
I like it.
Fun. It's fun. It is a fun game. If you like, once again, you have to like those type of games. Like Rambo likes it, I'm into it. You have to like those type of games. Okay.
Yeah, I like platformers, but a lot of people was just like they didn't like it. And then as far as a release, when it first came out, I didn't buy a PS4 originally because they were sold out everywhere. So by the time they had PS4s, it was off my radar, so I wasn't really checking for it. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. If it took you a while to get a PS4.
Yeah, but I think Destiny has
more major games right now.
Destiny has its audience already. I think people know that Destiny is what it is. I mean, there's really no change to it. It looks good. There's a different story. They kind of fucked up in my opinion because they like nerfed the fusion rifle and the sniper rifle and made them super weapons. So a lot of people might not be turned on to that. And I think, you know, when you look at Destiny, it already has its audience. They might get a couple more people, but I think, you know, Knack and then what Rambo said as far as you know, it already having that date already, they're not gonna change it. It's like people are gonna buy Knack and support it. If they don't, you know, and they just keep going like they did before. I don't see it hurting it. I don't think a lot of people there's gonna be a small amount of new people that are gonna jump on Destiny. Those people that already been playing Destiny, they still playing Destiny right now. So, you know, it's not gonna matter to them. They're not even looking for Knack. That's not on their radar. But I think they'll be fine. As far as Hellblade, you know, I've been talking about Hellblade for the last 2 or 3 episodes. I got that. That's day one. I already got the wallpaper and all that. So, you know, we'll all be online at the same time, midnight, baby. So.
What about you, Frozen? You have any thoughts on Hellblade and Knack 2?
Yeah, I'm not getting Hellblade day one because I'm kind of tied up with a lot of games now, and Sonic Mania is releasing next week. You got Yakuza following week and Mario Rabbids, but I will get Hellblade later on. It's a good release date, August. Nothing coming out. As far as Knack, it has its own fan base, but there are a lot of other releases. A lot of sports games are coming out in September. FIFA, I believe, is coming out. NBA 2K, that's coming out. Dishonored, that's coming out. The Dishonored DLC, that's coming out. There's other games coming out. So I think what I think Sony should do is put some of their games in December. You know, I think Last Guardian, not just to judge that, but Last Guardian in December, you know, then it wasn't destroyed by anything in a sense. You know, with no other games in December. I don't know why companies don't want to put games in December. I think that's a perfect month. Nothing's there. And, you know, pick it up as a good Christmas gift during the beginning.
Good point, yeah.
Yeah, you know, some, you know, games in December, I don't have a problem with it. You know, I think that's a good time before you get January and you're all packed up with games. Try to space out these games and, you know, help our wallets out a little bit so that we're not spending all this money in one month. You know, September and October alone, there's like over 20 games coming out, and you know there are people that can't buy all those games. They may only get 1 or 2 games, and it'll probably be the big games. Then later on, you have to wait for a sale or something like that. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, what I do generally is I pick out the ones that I want to play the most. It may not have to be the most popular game that's out there. I pick the one that I want to play the most. I'll get that one first, and then I'll work my way to the next ones. That's what I do. What about you, Seventh? You've been quiet over there.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing Hellblade like everybody else is. Knack, I like the first Knack, but I'm not in any huge rush to get the second one. I know Eighth wants to play it, but I have a sneaking suspicion that by the time the Christmas time rolls around, I'll be able to get it for a good bit cheaper than I would the day that it comes out. So that's going to be a 8th Christmas present.
Okay, nice. Well, that's nice. Well, you shouldn't say that. Could he hear you?
He's in his room focused on platting Dark Souls 2.
Oh, okay. All right, so he can't hear you. Good.
No.
All right. You can't be saying that on air. You don't know we're going to be over here. You may check out the channel later and listen to what you had to say. Yeah, and you'll find out what his Christmas presents are ahead of time. But that's a good idea. All right, so let's move on to the next one, which I think some people that are listening may have issues with this, but I'm going to say what I have to say. And I don't really care. But anyway, PC console, I don't care. Console versus PC. Now, for the record, I'm not a PC gamer. I have done some PC gaming. But I heard a debate where a certain someone pretty much didn't give PC the credit it deserves. The facts are that PC. Now, see, I'm not a big PC person, but I know my shit though. The PC install base is bigger than the current console install base this gen. PC has earned more revenue than console gaming this gen. Now, we can argue. We can. But maybe a good portion of this revenue was due to microtransactions. But the fact still remains, though. Now, my reason for being a console gamer is I just love the console experience. I love the PlayStation experience. I love the controller. I love the trophies. I love the ecosystem. That's just me. Okay, now, I don't care who plays on PC. You're in the gaming community. It's all that matters. As long as you keep it real. Now, my question to you guys is, as a console gamer, does PC appeal to you at all if you're not a PC person? And what do you think most console gamers think of PC gaming? I know Rambo might want to hit this one off.
I'll go before Rambo, since he's like the.
All right, go ahead, Frozen.
I was gonna get a PC. Eventually, I'm gonna get one, but for streaming purposes, not for mainly gaming. I'm not really into that super high fidelity graphics and 4K and all that. I don't even have a PS4 Pro yet. I'm cool with 1080p for now. And I was gonna ask Rambo to help me build it. When I do get my streaming PC to play, like maybe something like small, like certain indie games and stuff like that. But what I don't want to deal with the PC is I don't want to click on a game and it doesn't work. You can refund the game. You can research and do your homework for it. And I heard that it got much easier. But when I put a game in, it usually 90% of the time it works. And I'm not a fan of that whole digital thing. You know, yes, it is cheaper, but you know, what if one day like something happens and the servers end up, well, for some games, I feel like the consoles are eventually going to go that way for, you know, when we don't have physical. And I'm mainly a physical gamer when it comes to buying mostly physical games, but I'm not really into the whole things. Like I heard there's like quite a few DRM games on PC. There are some on consoles, but I prefer console. You know, easy, press a button and play. You know.
All right. I gotta be. I've I've had a shitty Twitter time with this whole PC and console thing. So I'm gonna be careful with my words, but I will say that when it comes to DRM, both consoles, PS4, Xbox One, PC, every single game that you play has DRM. There's not a single game that you can play without DRM. When it comes to physical copies, this is a big misconception. Since I guess probably the PS3 or that like seventh gen, you don't actually own your games. Like even if you buy a physical disc, the only thing you own is the disc. They're inside that booklet or inside your thing when you put it in. You have the exact same thing that the digital owners do. That the company actually reserves the right to the licensing of it. That you're only buying by purchasing that game, you're only renting the license to that game. So if they pull that license from the store, it's not only being ripped from the digital person, but it's also being ripped from the physical person as well, because you're not owning the game. Like that's one of the things that a lot of misconception happens with these games now, because you're just basically buying a disc, which is, I mean, cool. Trust me, I'm a physical person. I love the whole physical thing, but again, I mean, that's just a misconception of the physical disc of these days, not of days of old. When it comes to PC versus console, it's really just whatever you want. Like there's really nothing. The only thing that brought me back over to the console was games like Uncharted, Last of Us, games that I could only get on console. If every game that was ever made on the PS4 or made on the Xbox One was always on the PC, I'd be on PC every single time. When it comes to are you asking which one's better?
No. I wasn't asking which one's better. I was just thinking, my thoughts were, what do you think most people most console
most
gamers
console
think about PC. Think about PC. Now, to me,
Well,
I really don't care. It's just not, like I said, it's not for me. Wherever you want to play, as long as you're a gamer and we can talk gaming, I don't care what your platform is.
I think I think really most gamers in general, I won't even just label it with console gamers, but most gamers in general don't even think about the other platforms as in platforms. They just they're all just talking in terms of games and having a good time. Whenever you start saying like, what do console gamers think of PC gamers? That is very that's whenever they separated themselves as like, I'm a PC gamer, you are a console gamer, or vice versa. And I think,
Rambo, I've seen it.
Yeah, no. I'm saying, in that sense, people have gotten to the point to where I think a lot of console gamers think the PC gamers are assholes, because a lot of the abuse comes from, not really the abuse, but it seems like abuse sometimes. Comes from the PC crowd, like wanting to make sure that their platform is better than yours, or you can do all this stuff free, but and then you also have the console guys that try to I'm not going to name names, but a recent debate that happened that tries to say that the console can do things that it just can't do. And I think that whenever you get in that, that's whenever you start getting into labels. I think that people need to stay away from these labels and just stay. The only label that really matters at the end of the day is gamer. Just be the gamer.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Yep.
Talk about the games, talk about your enjoyment, your hobby. Quit worrying about what type of gamer you are and where you fall in some sort of spectrum, because there's no spectrum. It's just simply gamer.
But do you agree, Rambo, that people need to stop worrying about what other people play as well?
Yeah.
And just worry about yourself?
Both ways.
Basically?
Console guys need to quit worrying about the PC guys, and PC guys need to quit worrying about the console guys. Just simply have a good time.
That. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, just
where does it matter where somebody plays, as long as you can get along as gamers?
It shouldn't
like you
matter.
said, the main word is gamers.
It shouldn't matter at all.
Yeah, at the end of the day, these companies are taking your money either way. They don't even care where you play.
They don't give a shit. That's the reason. If they cared, if companies cared, Microsoft would never have launched their games on PC. PlayStation would never have launched PlayStation Now on PC. These companies care more. If they cared like this, like they were really beholden to that Xbox or to that PlayStation, they care about that almighty dollar. And they're companies, they're corporations. I don't know why we've gotten to the point to where we have to worship. I know the company that makes our plastic box we play on, but to me, it matters what I play, and that's it. I could give a shit less on what my box looks like. Is it a slanted black box, or is it a square, white box? I don't care, as long as the game's fun. And I think that more people need to get back into actually what brings us together as gamers, and that's the games, not really the platforms that we play on.
There you go. Nicely said. What about you, Corleone or Sevens? What do you guys think?
I think that console gamers look at PC gamers as geeks. It's not my opinion, but I just think that's what they look at it as.
I kind of heard that before.
The games that they play compared to the games that console gamers play are completely different. You know what I'm saying? But like he said, it shouldn't matter what you play as long as you play. And, over the past month and a half, all I hear is console this and fucking 4K that and all that other stuff. And it gets irritating because at the end of the day, it's like, what are y'all playing? Like, I hear all of this console shit, but I don't hear nobody talking about no games. And it gets irritating, you know what I'm saying, at times. I wish the community would come together a little bit more. But at the same time, it's like, fuck it, I just do me and not worry about that shit. Like, all these debates, and like one person did a debate about, and they had a conversation. Two people had a conversation. They had a debate, and that all of a sudden now that's the newest thing that everybody want to do. Everybody want to have a debate, 100 debates about the plastic, but nobody talking about the games. Talking about something that's not available right now, but nobody's talking about what they're playing right now.
See, that's what pisses me off, because that's what I've been saying. They always talk about a plastic or something. See, that's why I'm different. On this podcast, everybody's welcome. I'll have Switch people on here, Nintendo people, PC gamers, console gamers. It don't matter where you play. If you want to talk about games, you're allowed to come here. If you just want to start shit when you get here, well, we'll just school your ass, and then you're done. But anybody is welcome here, and you have your input on what you want to say. And if you have no input because you're not playing that game, you just like I've done on people's podcast. If I didn't play the game, I just said, well, I can't comment on that because I didn't play the game yet.
Right.
I don't know much about the game. Can you guys? And I'll even ask, can somebody tell me more about the game, so maybe it'll interest me. I didn't see enough.
You just dropped a video yesterday with some raw ass games, and I think that was Rambo was like, "What are these indies?" And I was like, "Yeah, because those games were hot. Those games were hot." That Rise and Shine, I've been looking that up. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, "Yo, that game looks hot." You feel me? So,
we're gonna get into that one.
I wish people would just talk about what they playing and are they having a good time, or if you're playing a sports game, you know what I'm saying, like if you're playing a fighting game, did you whoop somebody at, shit like that. It's like, man, when the Xbox One come out, motherfucker, I'm tired of hearing about that shit, man. These TV
I'm tired too.
These TV companies got everybody in their feelings, man, and everybody fell for that shit. Like Frozen said, I don't have a 4K. I'm cool with what I got. I'm not worried about that shit.
I agree with them. I'm cool with what I got too.
Yeah, I don't let these companies dictate me. If Sony tells me to go out and buy, I'm not gonna buy it for Sony. You know what I mean? I seen from what I seen, looking at the Pro, it doesn't look like it's much of anything. Same thing with the X.
My thing is, you got 1080p. Y'all ain't master that shit, and now y'all just trying to keep up with the TV Joneses and shit.
Yeah. I'm not supporting this mid-gen hardware upgrade. I can play the same games. So that's fine with me. You know what I mean? Eventually, if they keep doing it, then you're the reason why. And then you're going to be complaining, why are they doing another upgrade? Like these rumors about another Pro coming out. People are saying, why are they doing it? Well, because you bought the last one. That's probably why. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, you're right, Frozen. You're absolutely right with that. If you try to keep up with the Joneses, they're going to keep on doing this. Just like you said, Frozen. They're going to keep on doing this. They're going to keep on doing it.
There's phones. People buy phones every month. They come out with like new phones. People buy new phones. Like,
I ain't a phone person. I ain't buying no phone every month. I've kept old phones for 2 years.
But there are people that do.
I know they do. They'll go every 2 months or every month, every 6 months, and they'll get a new phone because it's new on the market. Why do you got to keep up with the joke? And then you wonder why there's so many more coming out, because you all jackasses buy them.
Right.
What you have ain't good enough for you. Are you on it like that? Are you using all the features that's on it? No, I doubt it. You just got it so you can say, "Oh, I got the latest." I don't care.
I'm not telling anybody what to buy. I'm just speaking for me. I'm not saying if you want to buy a Pro, go buy a Pro.
Yeah, if you got it, that's fine. I'm just like, I'm getting tired of people talking about the hardware and not talking about what games they playing. Like, I'm playing Final Fantasy 15. This shit is my first Final Fantasy. One of the rawest games. I don't know if y'all played it, but I fought this Titan last night at like 2 a.m. Man, that shit was bananas, dog. Like, that was one of the best gaming bosses I ever fought before in my life. And people was like, man, it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna get better. So, I mean, I would like to hear more people talking about games than always just trying to fight a console war. And it's like, that's all that people are drawn to. People make great videos all day, reviews, impressions, and nobody watched that shit. But let me talk about what happened the other day on somebody's podcast or some other bullshit. Motherfuckers gonna watch that shit because they like drama.
Yep. You took the words right out. They like drama. I don't like that shit. I mean, I used to think that that's the way YouTube ran, and I woke up real quick. I started in November of 2015, and by mid-January, February, I was done with that bullshit. I said, oh, hell no. Nobody talk about gaming. I want to talk about games. I want to know about games. So I personally will look up literal gaming channels. If I see you doing a console war or talking about hardware, I ain't listening to it. But if you're talking about a game that I'm interested in and you're showing me shit about the game and talking about it, I'll listen to you. I do support those channels. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie. I support those channels.
And let me say one more thing. I'm not saying that you can't talk about a company if they doing dumb shit or if something's going on.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, like, to be constantly talking about this fucking system and when the GPUs and the CPUs. I'm like, nigga, what is you playing?
Please
Nobody's
call
trying to
out
hear
these
that shit, man.
and please call out these companies when they do wrong things. Don't let them, don't let them step on you, because let
Well,
that
see, that's
happen.
what I do. I definitely do that, Frozen. You're right. I don't care what company it is. You do me wrong, I'm going to say something about it. I'm gonna not only hit you up, but I'm gonna do a video about it. Oh, look at this shit happen, whatever it was. I'm gonna do it. Whether I play on your platform, especially if I'm playing on your platform and I'm paying for it, and I bought the system. If you screw up, I'm gonna tell you. I don't care who it is, because that's what people need to do.
If there wasn't all this console war stuff and gamers stood together, we probably wouldn't have to pay for online to play multiplayer. If gamers if gamers actually came together and said, "Hey, we're not going to pay anymore," just like even though we were talking about the PC thing, at least the PC guys they stood up together and they said, "We're not paying for what is it, Windows Live or something like that? We're not paying for that."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and now everyone's charging. But people rather fight and bicker and debate and talk about gigawatts and all this stuff. And
they want to talk about dumb shit.
Yeah, we could be getting cheaper games. You know, we could be getting saving money. And I guess people don't care about their wallets.
No, some people don't. Some people don't. And that's what happens. And that's why certain games don't sell, and certain things happen in the market because you guys don't care about yourselves out there. You go with like we said before, like you said before, Frozen, you go with the Joneses. Corleone said that. Joneses, which is stupid. That's dumb. Seventh, you've been quiet. What's your thoughts on the subject?
He's on mute.
I must have stepped away.
Can I tell y'all a story real quick? Maybe somebody got an answer for me. So when I first started gaming, I had bought my Xbox One first. Not gaming, but when I first started streaming, I was streaming on Twitch app on Xbox One. So I've been doing that since like 2014, no problem. So today I wanted to do Bayonetta, you know, because it was backwards compatible. Because all the games I got left on my Xbox One are like 360 games that I never got to play because I didn't have a 360. So I was gonna play Bayonetta today, and I wanted to do it on I was gonna do it on Twitch. So they was like, "Oh well, you have to go into your settings, and in the settings it tells you that you have to it's asking me to allow them to see what movies I'm watching and what TV shows I'm watching." And I'm like, "Yo, like, what the fuck do that got to do with anything?" I've been doing the same thing since the system came out. And then I noticed that they don't even want you to stream off Twitch. They want you to use that Mixer app, because the Mixer app is right in the menu screen, where when you used to snap your picture, you have to snap your TV in half or whatever to pull up the other screen. You could just pull up Twitch automatically. And I kept looking at it like, why do they want me to change that? And I was just like, you know what? I just unplugged my shit, unplugged it from the back of the TV, wrapped up the cords, and just put it to the side. I just wait for September 29th because it ain't shit to play on there any fucking. No, I was just like, man, wrap it up, Joe. Like, unplug that shit, man. Like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, you can't force somebody. You're right, Mr. Corleone. You can't force somebody to stream or do something that they don't want to do.
Right, but I never even had I've been streaming on that since 2014. I started streaming on my Xbox One playing Titanfall. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I had started doing my streaming shit, and I always had it in my settings cut off. Like, you don't need to know anything about me but my gamer score and my name. You ain't got to know what movie I'm watching and all that shit. No. Like, what's up with that? So I cut my shit off, man. I unplugged that bitch. Fuck
I don't blame you. I unplugged the bitch too.
Yeah, that motherfucker wrapped up over on the side, looking at me like, you ain't gonna turn me on until September 29th when Cuphead come out.
Seven, are you back?
I never left. For some reason, I got muted. I don't know why.
I think you muted yourself.
Nope.
Oh,
I didn't touch. I am touched no buttons.
My hands are like 4 feet away from the keyboard right now.
yeah, I wasn't even looking at Hangouts. I didn't even know you were gone, or
Well,
you couldn't talk or whatever.
I didn't even hear him talking, and that's why sometimes he just listens and jumps in later on. He gives everybody say a piece. So that's what I thought he was doing. That's why I said, okay, Seventh, we haven't heard from you. So what's your thoughts on this whole this PC and what console gamers think about PCs, and what's your whole thoughts on that?
Well, it's not like any of this is really anything new. I mean, this whole community as it stands was really built upon console war stuff 8 and 9 years ago. But it goes back farther than that. Part of the problem really is that there's not as much of a divide between PC and console gaming as there used to be. And that's why you've got all this argument going on. See, people don't really give PC the credit that it is due in the fact that prior to the Nintendo coming out, PC is what kept gaming alive, home gaming alive in the States. While the console market died, PC gaming thrived. Commodore was doing real well, and the early PC titles and whatnot. But as Nintendo brought things back, what you started to see was that there was a big difference in what the two platforms were offering and what they were trying to achieve. So, you had Nintendo games, which are all really fast-moving, side-scrolling platforms, and less graphically impressive, but gameplay-wise pretty close arcade ports. And then you'd look at PC, and it was point-and-click adventure titles and puzzler games and strategy games and flight simulators and all this kind of stuff. So it was like two totally different gameplay experiences that didn't really cross over that much. And it stayed that way right up until the release of the Sega CD. And then things started to the lines started to blur a little bit. And so fast forward to now, and pretty much it's all outside of exclusives, it's all the same stuff. The only thing that's really different about the PC gaming experience is the cost, the graphics, and if you're a big fan of real-time strategy, MMOs, and simulators. Outside of those three things, pretty much everything else you can get on a console. So a console really is just, a lower mid-level powered PC. So when these PC elitists start yelling and griping, and the console are yelling and griping back at each other, there really isn't any damn point, because we're all playing PCs. It's just console gamers are having to pay for theirs to be online, and they're getting a less powerful experience because they don't care all that much about the graphical power. They care about the exclusives that they're only going to get on their system.
That's true. No, you're right. And I've always said that. Like, people used to tell me, Seven, that, I hate PC people. No, I don't like, just like I don't like the console people that start shit. You got it in all realms. If you're on PlayStation, you got those few that start with Microsoft. You got the ones on Microsoft starting with them. Then you got a few PC people that, like you said, call themselves elitist and call us peasants and all that. Those are the ones I don't like. The actual true gamers that actually sit there and game and just talk about gaming, those are people I like. That's what I want, and that's what I said. I don't care who I don't care if you're just a strict PC person and don't play on any console. You're welcome on this podcast if you want to talk about gaming.
The whole console peasant thing has never really made any sense to me anyway, from a money spent standpoint, because you pay more up front to purchase the PC, and every couple of years you're spending however many hundreds of dollars you're spending to upgrade the graphics card. But in that same 7 or 8 year period,
a console gamer is paying more for his online experience, and he's paying more for his games. So over the course of that 8 years, a console gamer is going to end up spending way more money than a PC gamer does. So really, if the whole console peasant thing is based on how much money is spent, technically speaking, it's the PC gamers that are the peasants.
Because they spend less. Because the peasant doesn't have money.
Because they spend less money.
Yep.
They get those humble bundles and Steam deals where they're getting these games that were $60 for a couple of bucks a piece, and sure, Sony gets flash sales every now and again, but for the most part, it ain't that way.
It ain't like no Humble Bundle. I know that shit.
That's for damn sure.
You can get some good ass games with the Humble Bundle.
Yeah, yeah. But see, that's my point though. Terms that people use are dumb when they do these arguments and these fights and everything else. It's stupid. Okay, they need to just stop and just talk about the games. That's the bottom line. I don't have a problem, and if people have a problem, PC people, just mind your business. And any PC people have problems with console people, mind your business. Just game, enjoy gaming, and get off this whole beef shit. Just let it go and just game. You don't realize you can learn something from somebody that plays on another platform when it comes to gaming.
Well, to be honest with you,
we're talking about gaming.
In the early days of the console war on YouTube, the names made a little bit more sense back then. So, for example, you had we called everybody the Xbox guys the Xbots, and the reason we did that was because all the guys that were doing the whole Xbox Republic YouTube thing, they all had a very monochrome, kind of bland way of expressing themselves, and they would all parrot the exact same talking points that General MLD did. So they were all very robotic, hence Xbot. And contrary to popular belief, no, Zaire did not coin or invent the phrase Sony Pony. He stole that off of a gaming forum.
Well, he's saying everybody steals everything from him now.
He stole it off of a gaming forum, and the original concept of it, the reason they called them Sony Ponies was because if one Xbot would get on there and try and say anything towards one Sony fan, then 150-something Sony fans would come and stampede over him and run him down, and that's where the whole Sony Pony thing came from. And it was way before Zaire ever even used it.
He trying to say that because he does debates, he tried to say I stole debating from him. First of all, debating was going on for a long time. Second of all, when do you hear me on a channel just doing a debate with somebody? You don't. So why are you throwing my name in there? He according to him, he developed debating, and everybody stole it from him.
Pretty sure I debated General MLD and some other guys way before Zaire was ever around.
According to him, he said it. I saw it. Because somebody sent it to me. He developed debating, and we all stole it. Everybody stole it from him.
His idea of debating is to sit and yell and scream and talk over the other guy to where they can't get their point across. His whole method of debating is to drown the other guy out. So I guess if that way is what you call debating, he's the first one in the community I ever saw that wouldn't let a person get a word in edgewise. So maybe he invented that. We'll give him credit for that.
You know what? Here's another thing. Blackbound was doing it for a while too before him. What about him and Shokyo debating all the time?
Well, like I said, a lot of us were debating each other way before any of us even knew who the fuck Zaire was.
Exactly. Anyway. All right. Well, we have nothing more about that. I got one final topic, but then I'm going to open it up to the panel in case you guys have anything to bring up. Now, my final topic is the worst video game you ever played. And I'm only doing this because this week I played some games that were terrible. Now, the one that sticks out to me the most is, that's why I said, Mr. Corleone, Rise and Shine. Okay? The graphics were good, but the controls were really, really bad for this game. And it honestly looked like it was gonna be a fun game, like you said. I even liked some of the story, but after playing it, I felt like I wasted my money on it. Now, that was one. Just Cause 3, also a terrible game. Also a terrible game. Thank God I did not have to buy this shit. Thank God. Oh, excuse me, the poop. I don't want to get in trouble for saying shit. I have to put on parental guidance. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, I had my input. But what videos to you guys stand out as some of the worst video games you ever played, whether it be current, past, or whatever? What are some of the worst video games you ever played?
I got one for you, real easy. Go pick you up a Nintendo Entertainment System, and then buy any game that was ever released by LJN. You've now played some of the worst games in history. Back to the Future, Beetlejuice, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I could go on for hours, baby. There's a million of them. And, I could think of a lot of old Atari 2600 games that were pieces of shit, too. It's just it's hard to say this is the worst game I've ever played because there's several subtle layers of suck. And it's all divided up into various generations, too. So, I mean, like PlayStation 1, probably the worst PlayStation 1 game I ever played was called Irritating Stick, and it was. Trying to think of a really bad one I played on PS2, but nothing's really coming to mind. This generation, most of the really, really bad games that I played are indie titles. I can't think of anything that was like a major console release that I've played that was just, really, really god-awful suck, except for maybe Mass Effect Andromeda. Eventually Drive Club got fixed by all the patches, but
right.
Mass Effect Andromeda, horrible. The Division, horrible.
Oh God, I forgot about that one.
Oh God, it's a piece of shit.
What about Quantum Broke?
Yeah, Quantum Break was pretty shitty too. It was not. You spent more time watching it than you did playing it. It made me think of some of those FMV games from the Sega CD and shit.
Yeah, but my thing is with this game, with Rise and Shine, I love what I saw, and I thought it was gonna be a fun game, like Mr. Corleone said. The controls in this game are, I can't say this word. I want to say it. I gotta say messed up. I want to say I'll say effed up. Bad. I'm telling you, it's bad. I wasted my money on that shit.
Well, I know this is your channel, but I ain't afraid to say it. Rise and Shine is like taking a big shit on the floor and then putting a pink bow on it. Because that's all it is. It's a nice looking piece of shit.
It looked good. I was like, oh, what's that? And then I watched what's his name? ACG. He did a review on it in January, and he was like, nope.
But
So
yes, I was
like,
saying,
I'm
Julio,
cool.
Look, you can go out to a bar, see a hot blonde sitting at the counter. You pick her up, you take her home, and then you reach under her dress and you grab a hold of a tree trunk. Looks ain't everything. Looks can be deceiving. Trust me.
They are. And like I said,
it might look great, but it plays like shit. Controls are absolutely horrible.
It does. Thank you, because that's the way I felt. I got that game, and I was like, God damn, I wasted my money on shit. And the graphics look good. The story was pretty good. The controls are, oh my God. I'm going to say, they're fucked. They're fucked, period. Those controls, I'll just put this adult content so nobody can say nothing. They're fucked. I mean, honestly, I was like, come on now. What the hell is... You spent more money on... I would rather the graphics have been a little less and you did better on the controls than you did with anything else.
Well,
and the gameplay.
Part of the problem is that the third-person cover shooter concept does not work good in a 2D game. And that's what this game is. I mean, for God's sakes, it's just
Right.
like playing a third-person cover shooter. You have to aim with your L2 and fire with your R2 while you're doing the fine aiming with the right analog stick. And you're doing it in a fucking 2D realm. And the worst part of it is that half the time you could be hitting that R2 for all it's worth, and he's not even firing. It's like it
He
doesn't
ain't doing
register the
shit.
fact.
He ain't doing shit.
He's just standing there and getting himself shot.
I don't know. Maybe he's playing with himself. We just don't see it. I don't know.
Maybe so. I sure as hell don't seem to be playing with it because nothing I do makes him do anything.
Oh, damn.
I was actually a couple of times on that game. I was getting so frustrated. I actually looked down at my PS4 controller to make sure the lights on it were still on because I was afraid my battery. Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing. In most games on PS4, if your controller goes dead while you're playing, it pauses the game. Not this game. I was in a boss fight. My controller went dead in the middle of the boss fight. Boss blew my ass up.
See, I didn't have that experience because my controller didn't die.
Fuck it. Fuck it in the asshole with a big rubber dick. Fuck this game.
You had to go that far now.
Oh,
So, Mr. Corleone, what was some of your worst game experience this gen or in the past?
probably this gen. No Man's Sky.
Oh God, I forgot about that one.
Oh, I forgot about that one
No
too.
Man's Sky. Probably the past. You ever heard of this game called Melon Secret Castle that was on NES?
Yep.
Yeah, that shit. I kind of like stay away from bad games, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Melon Secret Castle on NES was a bastard, and No Man's Sky. But I have got finesse like Recore, you know what I'm saying? That shit. Let me see, Recore, and I mean, I kind of, you know, I can agree with you when you say Quantum Break, but I thought it was okay. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that bad.
Well, that's what I said. It wasn't the worst.
It wasn't the worst game.
But it wasn't. It was. I didn't enjoy it like I thought.
It wasn't no masterpiece, right? It wasn't what it was supposed to be. You know, so
certainly wasn't an Uncharted killer.
Nah, like everybody was saying and shit. But you know, everybody always talking any motherfucking way. So, I really can't think of anything. I don't really.
What I was saying, Mr. Corleone, you know, sometimes you look at a game. I know don't try to buy bad games, but people will say they're good games when you look it up. You know, they'll do a review and say they're good games, and you see the graphics are good. It sounds like the storyline's good. Like with this one, that's what I heard. So I said, oh, let me pick it up. I was like, oh, damn, I wasted my damn money. I could have put that on something. I was mad in hell.
I will say Mass Effect Andromeda because I took that shit back. I took that shit back. But I heard that they have been trying to, you know, fix it or whatever. But I'll just wait till it's like $10 next year. And then I'll probably scoop that back up.
There's no fixing that abortion. There's just not. It's like I said, it's a pink ribbon on a turd. They can make it look less ugly, but it's still fucking ugly.
Yeah.
You say a ribbon on a turd. I done heard it all today.
Frozen, what about you?
One from this generation will probably be Final Fantasy 15. Probably the worst game I've ever played.
Get the fuck out of here!
As someone that's a fan of JRPGs growing up, the core mechanics of Final Fantasy, that is not a Final Fantasy game at all, in my opinion.
But you can play it. You can play it and you can play it that way. If you want to play it turn-based, you can play it turn-based. You know that, right?
Well, it's not. Well, it's not really. It's more than just the combat system because I like action RPGs, but you know I don't like that they went with the whole boy band group and there's no girls in the party. I know you do get the girl later on, and I just didn't like the story.
That's not. It's not a bad game. That's your opinion. Or
that's what I mean. It's my opinion. Yeah, my opinion. It's not. I don't think it's a bad game. It's a bad game.
I think what he's saying is it's not a bad game. It's just not a good Final Fantasy game.
It's not a Final Fantasy game. If they labeled it something else, then that would be cool. You know what I mean? But there are.
The thing is, Mr. Coolin, you gotta let him. That's his opinion. We all have
Right,
opinions.
no, I said that. That's what I said. That's what I
Other
said.
people may like this fucking rise and shine.
Yeah, I
Because
love
I've
that
heard other
shit,
people
man.
say it.
Not Rise and Shine, but Final
But you
Fantasy
know what I'm
15.
saying?
I fought that Titan last
everybody.
night. That shit was lit, man.
But to them,
But
it may not be what he grew up with. Go ahead, Frozen.
Yeah, Mr. Coleon, you said this is your first Final Fantasy. I grew
Yeah.
up on Final Fantasy, like on PS1, like Final Fantasy 7, Secret of Mana, you know, Chrono Trigger, Xenogears, you know, stuff like that. And
I
like
feel
this,
you.
I don't know. I just didn't. It just wasn't what I was feeling. It's like if you grew up with something and then they drastically change it to make it like something else. You know what I mean? And like it wasn't for me. I'm
Nah, I
glad I
feel
didn't
you.
buy it. I did.
What it really feels like, it feels a lot like open world Kingdom Hearts with less air combos.
Yeah. And Final Fantasy 7 remake is the same way. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna borrow it. That's what I did. Another game is Metroid Prime Federation Force. That garbage.
Oh, that's a piece of shit. Yeah.
Mighty Number 9. Another piece of
Oh,
garbage.
yeah, I should have said that. My bad.
Yeah, Mighty Number 9 was trash. Umbrella Corps. I didn't play that, but I heard that was trash. What other games were pretty bad? Shaq Fu. Back in the day, that was a pretty bad game. Anything worse? You already said No Man's Sky. The Order 1886. I thought that was a bad game.
What?
It wasn't a game to me. It was a movie.
Frozen. Frozen. Did you say Mighty Number 9?
Yeah, that was a piece of shit.
What did you like about it?
It was supposed to be Mega Man, and it wasn't. That's my problem. I'm pretty sure Seventh can elaborate on.
I didn't think it was supposed to be Mega Man.
Well, that guy.
It was supposed to be a
I didn't hear
spiritual successor to Mega Man, but it really played more like a shareware version of the Mega Man X series than it did the original Mega Man games.
See, I didn't look at it as a Mega Man thing. Maybe that's why I felt differently about it. Okay.
Yeah, and the people
Man.
that people that backed it on Kickstarter didn't get their games like day one and stuff like that. Like I didn't respect that at all from that guy.
It didn't look as good as the concept render either.
Yeah, and the guy, he's like all over. He's the guy. He worked on Recore as well. So that coming from his history, he's a nobody anymore. I don't care. Mega Man's dead, but yeah, man. Here's a good piece of advice. If you know the game's bad but you want to play it, just borrow it from somebody. That way, you don't have to waste your money.
Either that or rent it.
Yeah, or rent it. Or what you do is you can go to GameStop, buy it pre-owned, and then return it within 7 days, and you get your money back. So
yeah,
that always works.
Yeah,
I think I pretty much got through most of them. Yeah, I didn't like The Order because I felt like The Order was a movie. You know, it was just, let's look at these graphics and, you know, the same gameplay, you know.
And there's nothing wrong with The Order except for one thing, and that's that it was too short. You know, if it had a couple of more hours of gameplay, and even though this kind of thing is not to my taste, that's a game that needed online multiplayer to round it out.
That's true.
It was. You're right, Seven. It was too short. I did like the game, but it was too short. They needed more. Added more to that game.
I love the world of it, and I love the characters. It makes me wish, you know, that they had just padded it out some, given it some more gameplay and some multiplayer to keep people interested in it, so it could have built up a community and built up interest, and we could have gotten a better sequel. But now it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
That's true.
They're gonna make a sequel. Or they canceled it.
I don't think it's going to get one. I don't think Sony's going to.
The game that they're making now is called Deformers. You're like a little furry animal on a planet or something like that.
Yeah, it's a little downloadable title thing.
I got that.
Rambo, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, the only thing I can think of that I've played so far this generation would be just some indie games that I really can't even think of the name of them. They've just been some of these free titles that we've been given or whatever. So, not really thinking anything off the top of my head. I don't really. I mean, as far as like being like the worst game, I mean, I can always kind of find a positive in most of the games that I play. So I don't. Like Sniper Elite 4 is boring the shit out of me, but yet, you know, I mean, I'm enjoying it for what it is, but it's not anything like Sniper Elite 3, but I still wouldn't like classify it as like being a bad game or anything. So it's kind of hard for me to say anything more than just like a few of the indie games that just maybe should never have been put on the store. But that's about it for me.
Oh, Rambo. I thought of one for you.
What's up?
Custer's Revenge for the 2600.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you want to go back to there, then yeah. If you want to go all the way back to that,
You want to talk about a game that has no redeeming value whatsoever.
you can't make that thing look good, like at all.
Do you know what we're talking about, Nancy? Do you know what Custer's Revenge for the 2600 is?
No, I don't.
It was one of the few adult quote unquote 2600 games, and it basically is a game where you have to get from the left of your Custer and you're naked, and you have to get from the left of the screen to the right of the screen while Indians are shooting arrows at you because their Indian princess is tied to a stake at the other end of the screen. And if you can make it to the other end of the screen without getting arrows flown in you, then you basically get to watch him rape this Indian girl for a few seconds, and then the level starts over.
It was terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's called
Custer's Revenge. No, I was laughing. I was laughing only because the way you guys were talking and your reactions would make me laugh.
Yeah.
No, that was just God. Yeah.
I got another one. The first Destiny. That game's trash.
You know what? I got to say something. The 7th. I didn't know Ninja Gaiden was a 2D game until you told me yesterday. I never knew that.
Well, Ninja Gaiden actually started as an arcade game that looks nothing like the Nintendo version, really. Then it became an NES game, and that version got ported to TurboGrafx and Game Gear and a bunch of other stuff. There was a totally separate style, almost like an arcadey beat-em-up Ninja Gaiden game for the Genesis. And then, then it eventually made it to Xbox, and on the original Xbox is when it was first done in 3D. Prior to the original Xbox, it was 2D.
See, I never knew that.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about. When you talk about gaming, somebody can always teach you something that you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. I didn't see that shit.
Yeah, you want a challenge? You should go grab you an old NES and get you a copy of Ninja Gaiden. It's not that expensive, and we'll see how
hard.
we'll see how far you get on that one there.
That's one of the hardest games ever in the history of gaming.
Well, I'm sorry you guys are old. I'm not. I didn't know that shit.
Yeah, that shit hard to do.
No, I mean I did a little bit of shit in the arcade when they were going out because my brother took me there when I was young, and he took me there. My mom let him take me out to do that, So I did learn a little bit about the arcades, but and he bought me my brother got me my first console and everything else when I was real little, and he taught me how to game. I mean, my whole family games. I mean, my older brothers, they got kids. Their kids game, and their kids game. So shit, I got nieces older than me.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, you got to realize there's a lot of years between some of my family members and me. I'm like the baby. I mean, there's like 20 years, so some 25 years. So they were having kids like 18, 19, married and whatever. So, or around my age, some of them around my age. Whatever. But anyway, we're gonna move on. Who has something since that was my last topic because it's about gaming? What do any of you have to bring up that I may not have brought up that's in the news, or a game that I haven't brought up that's coming out that you want to talk about, or you want people to know about? What's going on, guys? I'm opening the floor to you guys now.
Well, I mean, the big controversy right now, it seems that everybody's talking about the WNBA being announced rosters on Live 18. which I think is dope. I think it's good. I think it, you know what I'm saying, opens the door for a lot of young ladies that are gamers to play as their favorite superstars. Just because guys don't watch WNBA doesn't mean that they don't have an audience or people are not checking for them. And
That's true. That's true.
it's a couple of females that I love that's hooping, like Maya Moore, Skylar Diggins. They fine as hell, you know what I'm saying? But I like them because I'm attracted to them, you know what I'm saying? But I don't really, I ain't gonna front. You know
He gonna lie. He ain't lying. At least keeping it real.
right. But I think, you know what I'm saying, like the fact that they took that chance, they're doing it for a number of reasons. They're doing it because they know that 2K, they run the shit, you know what I'm saying? And they
Yeah.
trying to, you know, get people to jump back, you know, because live at one time they ran sports, period. You know, so
See now for me, when it comes to basketball, I'm gonna tell you, being a female, I played in school.
okay.
I wasn't a good. I mean, I could play a little bit and get in there, but my thing was, I was the smallest one on the team, so I was the one stealing the ball and passing it.
Right.
I used to steal that shit. I used to get under these big ass bitches and just like bum, 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 and throw it, and somebody else made the hoop. I got the ball away from the other team, and I did what I had to do.
You breaking up. You breaking up.
I'm breaking up.
Yeah. I didn't hear what
Can
you
you-
said. I didn't hear.
Oh, I said that when I was in school, I was the smallest one on the team, so I was the one to steal the ball from the other team
Mm-hmm.
and throw it to somebody else, and somebody else could make it. Because I was too short to make those hoops. I can't. Mom, get that shit up there. I'm only 5. I'm only 5'1.5". So trying me doing a jump shot is not that good. So I would give it to the taller girls. I'd steal the ball from the other team, and there I go. Pass it off. I was the thief
You
on
was
the
on your
team.
Dennis Rodman shit, huh? You was on your
Hell
glove.
yeah. Steal the ball. They'd be trying to get down the end of the court. I'd come around the side. They didn't even see me because I was so small. I'd come around and just hoop around, steal the ball, and throw it to the girl on my team and jump shot that shit. Or
There ain't nothing wrong with
swish it.
ain't nothing wrong with short girls. Hell, sometimes that's beneficial.
Yeah,
I'm not really going to go into why because this is a family-friendly chat, but
yes, 7. Leave that out. Leave that out. Okay, anybody else got any news? 7, do you have any news? What's going on?
Well, really, the whole thing with Anita Sarkeesian was the only piece of news I had that everybody else didn't already know about.
What about your
That's
whole
true.
beef with limited run games on Twitter, 7th? I've seen you going back and forth.
Oh well, that's not really news though. That's like a kind of a just me fed up with the way they do things over there. Because basically they had a big release today, and for the second or third time in a row, I'm sitting there waiting 15 minutes prior to when the game goes live where you can order it, right? And so the very second it goes live, I'm already logged in. I hit it, add it to my cart, and then I click checkout. So I'm on the checkout page, and all I've got to do is type in my little code to verify my credit card and hit the purchase button. So I'm typing in the code. I reach down, I press purchase, and all of a sudden I get this pop-up that says your cart has been updated. And next thing I know, I don't have the game in my cart anymore, and it says it's sold out.
That's not a good look. They need to fix their website.
So then I go to the regular version, not the collector's edition, but the regular one. Still shows that it's got copies left. I go in there, it allows me to add it to the cart. I go to punch out, check out, same thing. I go to hit the purchase button, and right as I hit it, I get a pop-up, your cart has been updated. And all of a sudden I don't have it in my cart, and it says it's sold out. And
Wow.
And so I complained to them, and they came back and said, well, that's because we do our sales through Shopify, and that's just the way Shopify works. And I'm like, so there's no lock on an item once I put it in my cart and hit checkout? And they're like, no. And I said, you will never get my business again. Thank you.
That's crazy.
There is no way in hell that somebody should be able to pull an item out of my cart when I'm already on the checkout page and
Right.
buy it out from under me. That's
I agree.
bullshit.
I agree. I agree with that. That's some ass backward shit.
Especially
There
we're the
really
ones
is.
supporting you, and you're like over here messing us up. Like, come on now.
But that's all right, because you know who doesn't do that? Play Asia, and I can get the same damn game from them for $5 cheaper.
Play's a good
So, you know
website,
what,
man.
though?
That's right. So, I hate to be an asshole, but I'm not. I used to talk up Limited Run because I believed in what they did, but after the last 2 or 3 weeks of experiences I've had with them, I'm done. I'm not supporting them or talking them up anymore.
You got to do what you got to do. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
Anybody play Lawbreakers, the beta,
Yeah,
when it was out? I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I had a ball.
I did. Hey, Rambo,
Any of you
you got
guys
anything
play
to
it?
What's up?
add? You got
No,
anything to add?
no, not right now. Not really. Been out. I mean, I've been out and away from almost all day today, so I haven't really been keeping up with much. So
Oh, okay.
The COD beta is this month. If anyone's interested in that,
Yeah, I
private
signed
beta.
up. I'm already signed up.
Yeah. I heard the COD beta is coming out.
If y'all
Yeah,
got it, we
bring
should
out any
definitely play
news
together.
while listening. Yeah,
Definitely play together.
why not? Why not? Anybody else got anything to add?
You
They
ready for
said,
that rabbit?
yeah, I'm
What
ready
was
for that rabbits, definitely. Activision, they said they're real happy with Crash, like the sales. So everybody's telling them to do more stuff now, bring back older titles. So I think that's great.
Yeah, it is good.
Like people want Spyro,
Absolutely.
people want the racing game, people want everything back. So I think that's a good look.
Yeah,
Yeah, that racing
as long
game
as they
is-
bring them back in the right way, though, Frozen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as long
Yeah, like
and
don't fuck up the
don't charge
controller.
60 either. Don't charge 60 for 3 old games. Please don't do that.
Don't fuck up the jump controls.
Yeah, that too. And or the camera controls. Don't forget the camera controls now.
Yeah.
Jump and camera controls. Don't mess that up. If you're gonna bring it back right.
Well, especially since Spyro was like full 3D rotational, so shit.
Yeah,
At least with
that's what I'm saying.
Crash, you're only looking in one direction. So
They still need to fix that. When they brought it back, they should have fixed that camera though. The camera was. That's what made it harder. A game's not hard. It's the camera that made it harder because you couldn't see that there was a hole. You had to jump, and you couldn't see certain shit.
Yeah.
I understand that was the way it was originally made, but you're bringing it back. Fix the camera.
yeah, you can make improvements while still keeping the spirit of the original title intact.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. And they didn't do that. They didn't fix the camera. That camera was a piece of shit. It drove me out of my. That's the only thing that bugged me about that game was the damn camera. Because especially when the camera's behind you, you can't see in front of you. You can only see what's coming at you when those balls are rolling. You don't know whether you got to jump, move side to side. You can't see shit.
Right.
You can't see nothing. I mean, I understand it was the original, but you brought it back. Can you bring it back with just? You can keep it the same way, but at least have the camera so you can look forward and backwards so you can see what. I know the ball's coming at my ass. Let me see in front where I need to jump. Seriously. Let me be able to look down and see there's a hole that I got to jump.
One trick with Crash Bandicoot, especially on the newer version, with the jumping, is instead of paying attention to him, pay attention to look where the shadow is on the ground, and that gives you a good idea whether you're going to be landing where you want to be or not.
That's true. No, that's true. But they still should have fixed the camera.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, well, if we have nothing else nobody has no other subjects, we're going to do our outros. Okay? And let's see. Tonight we'll start with Frozen. You do your outro first.
Thanks for having me. Great podcast. Make sure y'all catch y'all next week. And I'm doing a video, so make sure y'all check it out tomorrow morning.
Okay, nice. Rambo, Diacho.
That's Rambo's Corner. You can always catch us later, like me later, on the Game Talk podcast. Even the Titanfall Princess comes on once in a while on there. So where we come up later on Wednesday and Friday night at midnight. You can catch us at that time, or just catch me on my channel or Twitter.
Okay, then we got 7th Level.
Hey guys, the new Don't Buy This Shit is going to post either late tonight or midday tomorrow. But it is coming this weekend. But just do me a favor, and next time I go to all the trouble of making a video game review for you guys, watch the video. 220 people out of 16,500 plus subscribers is just deplorable. It's terrible. Terrible. You should love me more than that because I'm 7th.
Don't use my words now, 7th. Come on. Don't be stealing shit.
All right.
They love me. Don't be using my they love you. Come on now.
You should lust after me more because I'm 7th.
Okay. Last but not least, we got Mr. Corleone.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that came out. Make sure you share and hit that like button. Thank you to all the people on the panel. Check out my channel, Mr. Corleone 4, and make sure you follow me on Twitter at JUS1DON, just one done. And everybody have a great weekend, man.
And of course, this is the Titanfall Princess. Check me out later. I'm going to do a Street Fighter stream later. Please check out everybody's channels here. Like you said, hit that like button. Do all the good shit. We talk about gaming here. We're not a channel that does all this bashing that we talk about games. We enlighten you. Come in the chat. You have questions. Bring up the questions. We can present it to the panel. I can present it to the panel, or somebody else that's watching chat can present it to the panel, and we'll answer your questions. That's what we're here for. Okay? That's what we do. And you're going to hit, you know what? You guys are going to hit that like button. And you know why? Because y'all love me. And I'm out of here. You guys have a good night. And maybe I'll see you tonight on Rambo's podcast.